The question is,
Floating.
is this floating caliper or fixed caliper?
Fixed.
Remember when I said fixed has two pistons opposing each other? Do you see piston opposing each other? We have a piston right here. Do you see a piston on this side?
No, yes, it's one.
So only one, right? So this one is a floating caliper. That means what? You can hold the caliper and move it to the right and to the left. That's why they call it floating. Okay, let's look at the page. So here you have the page. Can you see these lines? Anybody can see these lines?
Yes.
Yes.
So the lines on the pad, it does two jobs. These lines, guys, on the pad, it does two jobs. I know the master technicians know the answer, but how about somebody else? Can somebody answer me?
It's one to help you keep track of how much you have on there.
Yeah, so this one works as like what they call wear mark. So if you have no lines on the pad, that now you know the pad is already gone and it's time to replace. And also, it's gonna help in the to dissipate heat. Once you have air here, it's gonna take some of the heat away. So this lines, guys, has two jobs to help in dissipating heat, and also it's gonna serve as wear mark. So when you see this lines gone, that's the time to replace the pads. Remember, it's critical to change the pads on time, because if you wait for this plate to touch the disc, now you're gonna damage the rotor, and once you damage the rotor, now you cannot machine the rotor. You have to replace the whole rotor, and that's another job. One more time about this picture, guys. Remember when I talked about these friction materials? If you see one, the friction materials have to be even. If the friction materials one is more than the other side, now you know that caliper is not floating anymore. Now it's a problem with the floating pins. So the wear on the pads can tell you if that caliper is floating or not. That means you have all the force on one side, and the other side has less force. And that's because the pin, can you see the pin? Here is the pin. Because the pin for some reason is jammed or rusty, or there's some problem out there. You have to get the whole caliper, overhaul it, and look the pins. Look the pins. So normally, if I get the caliper like this one, by hand I can push it to work on the pins in case the caliper jam on the pins. Any question about this one?
There's two, right? There's two pins.
Yeah, you have two pins. You have one down here. You have to have two pins. One down here and one up there.
Okay, to make it even, to make the pressure even, right?
You have two pins so the whole caliper can slide right and left.
Okay.
And the purpose of the caliper to slide is to give the force even. The force has to be equal on both pads.
Could you just take the pins out if a face is sticking? Could you just take the pins out, clean them up, and grease them back up, and then put them and reuse them?
Yeah, you can get the caliper off the two pins, and you can clean the pins and put special grease on the pins.
And then just reuse them, huh? Okay.
See the problem? See the problem? Down here, guys, can you see down here? There's something it's called dust boot. You have a dust boot, and that dust boot for some reason, if it allows water or dirt inside, that dust boot, the oxygen that goes in can make this area rusty. Because to create rust, you have to have oxygen. So once the oxygen inside here, Now this area is gonna get rusty. Now, once you have rust in the pins, now the caliper is gonna be hard to move. So be sure that the dust boot made of rubber is in good shape. How about if the dust boot is cracked? Well, you gotta replace it. You gotta order the hardware from the dealer. How about if the dealer doesn't have hardware? Probably you gotta put a new caliper. Hopefully they have the hardware which has all the rubber pieces like the piston, ring, like the dust boot, all the rubber pieces can be replaced. Any comment, guys? Okay,
No,
thank you. Is this Bianca?
yes, it is.
Okay, I already posted your grades, guys, for the course we took, what is it?
For overhaul.
Yeah. Okay, guys, look at this, how we know from the picture, how we know if the caliper is fixed or floating caliper, how we know? From the picture.
By the piston, whether it has pistons on both sides or single-sided.
Yeah. Also, if the caliper has pins, remember, if the caliper has two pins, then it's floating. If the caliper doesn't have pins, then it's fixed.
So floating right there. Yeah,
Is this one floating or not?
that's floating. That's floating.
Let's see somebody else. Where are you
It's, that one is floating, right?
It looks fixed to me, but I don't know.
Fixed. This one, guys, is floating. So,
Yeah, because you said when it was fixed, it had more parts, right? Or it was located in a different area.
how I know that? How I know that this one is floating? Yeah. Can you see this one here? This one goes right here with a bolt, and the whole caliper can go right and left. And here you have the what's called that is the dust boot. So you can hold the whole caliper and go right and left, and it's gonna. So the picture here, guys, is floating caliper. Do me a favor, guys. In the lab section, I want you guys to go to Google and see different calipers, and ask yourself: this is floating or fixed? Does it have floating pins or not? You have to know what kind of caliper you're dealing with, because when you order parts, you gotta tell the guy, oh, I have a caliper here, but okay, I don't know if it's fixed or floating. Now you know the difference. So when you order the parts for the bike, you have to know what kind of caliper you have.
So, Mr. Mustafa, I want to make sure I'm clear. You said if the caliper has pins, it is fixed,
No.
I didn't say
floating.
that.
Okay, I'm trying to be clear. Yeah, it's floating.
You have pins, the two pins.
It's floating.
Because
Okay,
you want that caliper to slide on the pins. Okay?
gotcha.
And again, if you take the pads out, you can hold the whole caliper by hand and move it to the right and the left. And you have to have, and I've seen a lot of technicians pressing the pads without checking if the caliper is floating or not. So people are just replacing the pads without even looking at the pads and understanding why one pad has more material of friction than the other pad. You have to pay attention to the stuff you're replacing. Otherwise, maybe the problem is there and hidden, and you don't fix the problem 100%. The customer comes to you, I expect you to fix the problem completely. Your job as a technician is to look for other problems, and you report to him. Otherwise, you're not doing your job as a technician. Looks like we're done with the drum brakes. We're done with the disc brakes. Now we're gonna talk about something else. It's called brake fluid. The book